respected resource person, faculty members, researchers, and participants. Welcome to day 3, session 6 of our 4-day online faculty development program on Next Generation Academia integrating AI into teaching and research. We are delighted to have you with us for another enriching session and look forward to your active participation throughout the program. It is now my great honor and privilege to welcome our esteemed resource person, Professor Dr. G.K. Goswami, sir. Sir is a distinguished retired Additional Director General of Police, Indian Police Service, an eminent academician, researcher, institution builder, and Fulbright Nehru Academic and Professional Excellence Award Fellow associated with the Cornell Law School. He is the founding director of the Uttar Pradesh State Institute of Forensic Science, Lucknow, and is widely recognized for his important contribution to legal education through the innovation concept of law with labs. Sir hold an exceptional academic profile, holding a Doctor of Science in Forensic Science and Law, Doctor of Laws, PhD in Medical Chemistry, Master of Science in Chemistry, and Master of Law. His remarkable journey reflects a rare blend of excellence in policing, forensic science, legal education, and research. His outstanding service to the nation has been recognized with the Honorable President Police Medal on 4 occasions, a testament of his exemplary leadership, dedication, and integrity. On behalf of Ishan Educational Institution, I extend her gratitude to you, sir, for accepting our invitation and sparing your valuable time with us today. Sir, your rich experience, distinguished achievement, and visionary insights will inspire all the participants and make today's session truly enlightened and memorable. With these words, I respectfully invite Professor Dr. G.K. Goswami, sir. The virtual platform is yours, sir. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. And warm welcome to everyone participating in this faculty development program. And I am very delighted that Ishan University is organizing this very important, you can say, the discussion on various topic. Certainly, the participant who have diverse background, they are experts of their respective fields. They must be benefited because now it is the era of artificial intelligence, digital world, and more so, it is the interdisciplinary approach. So, having said that, I would like to not to take the PPT model, but I will talk rather extempore, and I will be very happy if you have any question, anything you can write down either in the chat box or you may ask at the end, because I will try to complete it at least 10-15 minutes prior to the time allotted so that you may have a good discussion if you want any kind of experience sharing or any query of any kind, because this topic is very important and it is a growing area, because digital world itself has no limit. Even I always say that even the sky is not the limit, sky is the beginning. So there is no end how the technology is growing, and I don't think that anybody can predict its the closing point. So it is ever growing phenomena. Having said that, today we are going to discuss the digital governance, the data privacy, and responsive AI. The topic is very well drafted. It has been curated well. I think every single segment, if I divide it into 3 parts: digital governance, data privacy, and responsive AI. I think these three are the main domain and which had been encapsulated to discuss today on this platform. I believe all are from either from maybe from law, from engineering side, maybe from other domains, from social sciences. So I think this group is diverse. So I will not go in very deep down. I will give you a broad perspective, but those who have any query or anything special, they can ask separately also. I have my YouTube channel as well. So a lot of things you can see there. Every day I keep delivering something for the public consumption, not only for academic purpose, but for the enablement of the common man, which is very important because digital awareness, legal awareness, your right and duties awareness are the essence to build up a, you can say, committed towards the rule of law society. Having said that, I think everybody will believe that now we have the two worlds to live. One is the physical world where we are living now, but we have equally important, rather even more important, is the digital world. So our most of the activities, right from our social interaction to our financial transactions and even the innovations, our cognitive capabilities, knowledge, that has been almost enter into digital world. Nobody can say that I can live in isolation. Now, and in the beginning itself, I must say one thing, that why the digital world is so powerful. It is because it has the best capability of networking. Networking is the key of digital world. So I always say that digital world we have lot of to learn, but very important learning is that we should develop networking. The person who has good networking will survive. The another important issue is that many a times we say that in the era of artificial intelligence, job will vanish, people will face crunch, and there are different type of versions, different type of interpretation about the future of AI, its impact on society, its impact on employability, and so on and so forth. But in my opinion, my dear friends, I believe that artificial intelligence will bring the new, avenues for employability. And we see across globe. Nowadays, one important employability is the digital platforms. A lot of people are getting handsome livelihood on various type of knowledge sharing. There may be different ways. The another important point is that there are two type of intelligence. One is human intelligence, which is called cognitive intelligence, cognitive knowledge, which is the supreme in my opinion. No time, I don't think that any time artificial intelligence can surpass human intelligence. The only powerful tool is with AI is that it has collective HI. Collective HI means that I may be an individual, I may have limitation of my thought process. You may have even better thought process. The third one may have even more knowledge. But collectively, this whole artificial network, intelligence network, it collects that wisdom. It actually compile that wisdom. That is why it looks as if it is higher than human intelligence. But in totality, why it will not overpower human intelligence? Because it is the human being who has invented AI. It is not vice versa. It is not reverse. So I always say that please never underestimate the human intelligence. We should use artificial intelligence as a tool. The problem is that artificial intelligence, we are getting too much dependent. So it is suppressing. It is not only surpassing, it is suppressing our thought process. That is the worrisome scenario. I think everybody of us are using one way or other artificial intelligence, knowingly or unknowingly. But we should not limit our understanding of artificial intelligence only with the chat GPT or any LLM, large language model. So please expand your understanding beyond that. Having said that, now let me just enter into digital governance first, and I will connect it with data privacy. Of course, artificial intelligence is integral part what we are discussing, but at the end, I will also talk that how we should build up responsive artificial intelligence. It is the duty of ours, every one of us, that how to make artificial intelligence responsive, because artificial intelligence itself cannot be responsive, because the way you use technology, I always say that there may be knife, it may be used for positive as well as for killing a person or for any negativity. So these are the tools. In which hand the tool is, it depends. So it may create wonder, it may create havoc. So that depend. And how you are building up artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, like any technology, may be good or bad. Artificial intelligence not in a capsule. It is actually bundle of things. You may be making a kind of application or any device or anything using artificial intelligence. The quality may vary. One artificial intelligence model may be highly efficient, highly effective, highly responsive. On the other side, others may be vice versa or reverse. So don't think that anything you cannot fit into one domain, or it cannot be means you can say that you cannot give any answer fit to all. You have to find solutions for everything. So artificial intelligence, whosoever is using, it is the responsibility of everyone. So nobody can give any, you can say, directive or anything that by that particular directive every artificial intelligence activity will become responsive. So we'll come little later. So what is governance? Just imagine that you slept in the morning. Okay, why this digital governance is needed? I will give you a kind of scenario. Suppose you slept well in the night, and when you get up in the morning, you find that you got a message that your bank account is empty. How will you feel? When you checked it with your internet banking and all, you find that all money has gone. You might have heard about the digital arrest. All these things are our day-to-day life activities. What do you feel? Suppose you find in the morning a kind of message that your mobile phone is going to shut down in 2 hours, your passport has been cancelled, your child has been means indulged into any nefarious or any criminal activities and things like that. So who is responsible for it? Is it the government? It is the device? Who? So here you need the digital governance. Who will govern such activities? Because digital space, as I said, that can be used for bad or good, both. So we will talk about that. I have shown you this kind of scenario that how digital governance is important. First of all, understand what is governance. I'm not going to give you any definition or something like in any political science blend and something like that. Just understand. Governance means regulation. Like we were a child, our mother, our father, our family members have regulate us since our childhood, very young. Sometimes they scold us, sometimes they give a slap, sometimes they give our advice and all. So likewise, the system need regulation. Otherwise, it will be chaotic. So governance is very, very important part because everybody wants trust. The major problem with digital world is the trust. So we will come how to build up trust. So that's very important part. If I just take you back to how this system developed or how the electronic evidence or electronic system start developing, we have to go back to 1990s rather, 1990s. So that time was the almost spread, although I don't say that it was birth was bit early, but publicly it was in the huge. Okay. So slowly and gradually platforms came up. If you see safe harbor, there is a doctrine. I am not going to take up much on that. But safe harbor means they are the protection. They are kind of immunities by which platform. Suppose YouTube is a platform, Google is a platform, and things like that. So they were being protected because anybody can publish any material on that. Okay. So that was the point, 1990s. We in India, we introduced Information Technology Act in 2000, and subsequently we brought corresponding changes in our IPC, Indian Penal Code, our Indian Evidence Act, in CRPC and all, right? So we have started doing that. But within 21st century, if we say, and particularly after, you can say, gradually, and after 2020, the artificial intelligence is spread like anything. So that becomes quite important. Nowadays, our every activity is entering into digital world. But in physical world, if you see that we can keep our valuables maybe in any safe place like any almirah, any security, any, in bank lockers and all. But here, the digital data is, we don't know who get access. There were earlier theft in the physical world also, that there were regular theft, there were robberies and all. Likewise, the similar type of scenario is there in this digital world also. Okay, so you must think that similar to the physical world, we have to protect our digital world. In physical world, we have the walls in the rooms. Similarly, in digital world, we have firewalls, VPN and all. Right? So it is the similar scenario. Unfortunate part is that in physical world, we have the corpus in our hand. We can control. Suppose if there is any valuable, maybe any document, maybe any article, maybe any valuable metal, gold or something, we can just keep it in locker, can put the key, lock it, and key can be kept in safe place. But in digital world, we don't know who can access. We don't know who has stolen our property, where it has been copied. So difficulties are multifold. And that is why we need governance. One important thing I must tell you, that just imagine, like in our physical world, we have to make the boundary of our house or wherever we keep our valuables properly secured. Likewise, we have cyber security. But once the security is breached, suppose there is breakage in the home, maybe lock is broken, maybe some wall is broken or something like that. So that way, the cyber security breach is there. When cyber security is breached, then comes the role of cyber forensics. So understand the role of cyber security and cyber forensics. They are the two sides of the same coin. So till you are making things secure in the physical world or in digital world, it is the security part. If it is in the digital world, it is called cyber security. But if it is in the physical digital world, then we call it cyber security. So normal security in our physical world is there. Likewise, cyber security. But once there is any theft or there is any breakage, rather, theft is the subsequent act. So there is a breakage in that security domain. Then it is the role of police to enter. And when the role of police comes, then they start collecting evidence. So here in digital world, it is called cyber forensics. So cyber forensics is basically post-mortem of breach in cyber security. So they are two sides of the same coin. Why I am telling this difference is because many a times we get confused that he is the man of or woman of cyber security, or he or she is working in cyber forensics and all. So these two things are two sides of the same coin. You have to understand it very clearly. If I connect cyber security or cyber breach, one thing very interesting. Many of you may be knowing this may be a very childish issue which I am raising now. Many times we are using digital, and sometimes we are using, or frequently we are using, cyber. Is there any difference? Are they identical or synonym? So when there are two words, always, in my opinion, they cannot be identical. They have to be synonym at the best. So digital and cyber has big difference. Although they are subset of, so digital is a bigger thing. If I talk like I am using this desktop for interacting with you. So this physical part, the hardware is digital, including the cyber also. So cyber is basically nothing but when we use internet or any system by which we connect with the information, or if we use for networking. So networking is the part of cyber and digital is the entirety. So understand this very. So when you talk digital, it is a wider circle. But when you talk about cyber, cyber is subset of digital. Although this is not very important for this discussion, but just I thought that minor differences sometimes makes your argument or your confidence much higher than in a normal situation. Otherwise, sometimes we use digital, sometimes cyber doesn't make much difference for the common parlance. But there are differences. So what I was talking about, that we have understood the difference between cyber forensics and cyber security per se. Now, if I go for cyber security, why I'm talking about all these things? Because when we are talking about the governance, digital governance, the first part, we must know that in which world we are living and how we can govern that, how we can secure that, how can build trust into that. That's very important. So how digital security, just very basic things, because I am not going to touch very deep down. I understand that it should be more for the common persons. So whatever branch, whatever discipline you belongs to, it will be a very simple discussion, but may be useful for your uh, means common man understanding. And I always say that common sense is very uncommon. But without common sense, we cannot build up our higher, um, acumen, or you can say cognitive power. So what I was talking about, that just see, if we see the domain of cyber security. Okay, so let's go for physical security. What we do? Suppose there is a premise. You may be in any school, college. I am here in my institute. So there is a boundary wall. So we have a gate. Okay. So we have placed one security man or whatever it is. Okay. And we feel that our premise is secure. But anyone can jump the wall. It may break somewhere. There may be some other gate which may be easy to broken or to penetrate. So there are so many loopholes. But in general, we believe that we are secured. So security is a perception. And especially in digital world, my dear friends, never think that anything is secured. I tell you very interestingly that I am not blaming anyone, but Harvard University, which is considered very leading since beginning in the IT sector, their data was breached in the very first quarter of this 2026. Our AIMS data. You just imagine, if you remember last year, the airlines data was hacked, and for 2 to 3 days, the boarding pass were issued physically by hand. So no security can be perfect. So let's come back to our security regime so that you can understand how security, cyber security is, the architecture is developed. Okay, I'm talking about that. So this is what the common thing, that suppose you kept very tight security at the gate. There may be metal detector, there may be frisking, there may be this and that. Okay, and you are thinking that we have done means very properly. But as I said, that there are maybe so many loops. Even he may or she may get that we have a metal detector, for example, it can detect metal only. But suppose somebody is taking any TNT type of thing, explosive or something which may not be detected by the device which we have placed over there. So likewise, there are chances that uh, in cyber security or in physical world, the culprit or the perpetrator may bypass or may dose that security regime. Likewise, in cyber world, if you are putting your VPN, your firewall, and other devices, they can be easily breached. Now, the second layer comes for the cyber security is zero trust security architect. Zero trust security architect. Although the term looks very, very heavy and very, trust generating type of like zero trust. What does it mean? It means that you have no trust on anybody whosoever have access to your or whosoever get access to your system. That is zero trust. So what does it mean? So as I said earlier that you have kept on the gate some security men, other security men at the peripheral, patrolling and all. But here in zero trust, they do not believe anybody. They do not have zero trust. So that is why it is called zero trust. So they continuously, or you can say periodically, they keep watching the activity of the uh, in physical world there may be person or many other things, but in digital world there may be some bug or some something fishy, you can say alien. So in zero trust security architect, the continuous watch is being kept. And watch on what? They are called data packets. So basically in digital world everything is in data, so they are called data packets. Okay, and you might have heard about hash value. So always remember, because I thought that I may forget to tell this, what is hash value. Hash value, like I'm GK Goswami, I have my Aadhaar card, I may have other identity card. Okay. So likewise, for any data packet, the hash value is its identity. It is the DNA for the identification of a data packet. And it means prove its reliability, that it is genuine packet. If anything you change, even if you change a comma or full stop in the content, suppose you have taken a file, suppose word file, just you have written one page or two page, and you have calculated its hash value. Okay, now you will say how to calculate hash value. So there are instruments, very simple. Even if you can go like free of cost also, you can get the, but if you have the heavy data or more reliable hash value system, then you have to purchase the apps. So that way, if you just change even the full stop, then hash value will change. So that is the unique identity of the data packet. So hash value is the identifier of the data packet, you can say. Okay, so that is what I was talking. So we have talked about zero trust cyber security or security architect. But again, you can't 100% say this, that okay, it is better model than earlier, but can you say that it is 100% secured? The answer is no. Then what? So now I stop it here, this security business. Now I will take up from the data side, and then we will come again how the security is connected with data protection. So my dear friends, so we were talking about that um, zero trust security we have just discussed in brief. Now I will take you to the data protection, how this data protection becomes so important. So understand it very clearly that data protection is not a very nothing new. Basically, cyber security or digital security, what you say, is nothing but security of data. So data protection, data security that exists since beginning, and it is completely linked with cyber security. So that is part one. Now I'll tell you very interesting thing. If although this GPDP Act, GDPR, all these things which are coming up since last couple of years, that how it is very important. If we go for the first Data Protection Act, so the first Data Protection Act was enacted in 1970, about 55 years back. There is a very small state in Germany called Hesse. Hesse. So that was the first, and afterwards, lot of other state or you can say jurisdictions or country has introduced. But data protection per se was overshadowed by cyber security regime. So ये आया कैसे? How it becomes so important? I will tell you that anecdote and story. In 2006, it was revealed that the data of more than 86 million subscribers of Facebook has been harvested by a company called, anyone knows the name? The name of the company was Facebook Cambridge Analytica case. Those who have any interest about data protection or cyber security must know this case. And you can easily learn many things which may not be directly to your concern by using Google. Maybe nowadays you can use any LLM. LLM means large language model. You may be using ChatGPT or various other domain are available nowadays. You can simply just write this case, Facebook Cambridge Analytica case. So Facebook, Facebook was the target, and Analytica company was incorporated. So this company was incorporated, I think 2012 to 2013. Okay, and there was a professor and a businessman, their combination. So what they did, they actually harvested data from the Facebook and they prepare psychological profiles. If you see my social media, if you see your social media, you will be amazed seeing that how much information we are sharing, people are sharing about us, and we Indian particularly, I must say, we are very casual sharing data. We write everything. We share every photograph, this and that, what not. So that data is very, very important. I am a police officer by training and my profession. If I say that merely by your mobile data, anything can be deciphered. आप सोते कब हैं, आप खाना का क्या खाते हैं, आपका बैंकिंग का क्या पैटर्न है, आप कितना पैसा निकालते हैं, आप कहाँ कहाँ जाते हैं, आपसे कितनी देर बात करता है, कौन आदमी रात में बात करता है, कितनी देर बात करता है, क्या पता नहीं चलेगा. So everything, it is a digital footprint, and the footprint we are generating for us and against us are phenomenal. We are not aware. So by that, the Facebook Analytica company, they actually harvested data and analyzed to build psychological profiles. And that those psychological profiles were having the political overtone, and they were being sold to, it is said that they were being sold to for influencing election of Donald Trump in his first election in 2016. The another issue came almost at the same time was Brexit referendum. Many of you may be aware about Brexit referendum, when the euro, whether euro should be used by England or not, there was a debate, there was a referendum, and it is said that this company sold data for Trump to win that election as well as for influencing Brexit referendum. When this matter surfaced, the case was registered or case was sent to the court, And when Facebook CEO, who was he? Mark Zuckerberg, when he was called, as usual, if anything goes wrong, we always say, no, 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 our devices are very perfect, highly secured, and this and that. We are a multi-millionaire global company. Facebook has a name, but ultimately he succumbed to the reality and accepted the fact that their data was hacked. The information of the subscribers or the followers, they were being hacked without their consent. So these two cases made to learn lot many things, and you will surprise that US Supreme Court, US that commission who were dealing with this case slapped $5 billion on Facebook. Likewise, on the same case, different cases were filed in different countries. So more than multiple $1 billion were slapped against the company. Then, learning from these scenarios, European Union brought one template called GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation 2018. This is the Bible for learning data protection. Those who are interested must read it. And you will say, we are not from legal background, we are not from this side, we are not technocrat. Doesn't matter. I always say कि हमने साइकिल नहीं बनाई, कार नहीं बनाई, कंप्यूटर नहीं बनाया, we are using. So understand that we must know how to use it. The car champions who won the race never built any car, and the who built the car never won the race. So the point what I am carrying or want to communicate is that we must know how to use. So if you know these things, it has a very bright career. I tell you, those who are engineers, they have the legal background nowadays, technological. I will come to that point why that becomes so important. And this is the crux how that will help in digital governance. I will bring to that the level very soon to you all. So learning with these type of cases and the data protection, European Union brought GDPR. What is GDPR? GDPR is General Data Protection Regulation. It is not act. Understand it. It is a general template because European Union is union of multiple countries. So they gave a broad template, and that template become baseline for multiple country to borrow to build up their own customized set of rules, set of laws in different countries. And our DPDP Act, which was being enacted by our Indian Parliament in 2023, has also many things borrowings from GDPR. So GDPR is a template. Now, it has 2-3 things to learn as a common man. One, GDPR actually deal with both type of data, digital as well as physical. Physical means like I have this paper, you may have the physical book or anything. So, and any data means data may be some depiction, something which can communicate, which can give you some kind of information. So that is data. Data you can just read any just Google and can find that data has a very wide spectrum. Okay, not limited to data means in a very can say concise manner or very restrictive phrase. It is a wide concept. Okay. So having said that, the article, yes, two type of things they look, the GDPR. They see all kind of data. But if we see, compare with our DPDP, DPDP itself says Digital Personal Data Protection Act, DPDP, Digital Personal. So it deals only digital. That is the difference with GDPR. Anyway, this is not a very big thing. Now, Article 25 of GDPR is the crux. And here from we will learn how to develop this digital governance. So, those who have interest, in DPDP Act or data governance must read thoroughly Article 25 of GDPR. What does it say? It has three wings or three important areas. One is privacy by design. Privacy is very important part. Now I go back a little bit, a year back in our India. If you remember, in 2017, there was a case regarding Aadhaar data and all. So that a kind of PIL was filed in 2014, 2013-14 by a retired High Court judge named K.S. Puttaswamy, Justice K.S. Puttaswamy. So that case was decided by Honorable Supreme Court in 2017, and that case becomes a landmark judgment in the history or global history, not only in India. Why? Because it declared right to privacy as fundamental right under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. So it becomes fundamental. Now you will say, what is the difference? How it affect my life? Why fundamental right? If it is not fundamental right, then what we will call it? So understand that if you do not, if there is a difference, there are rights, there are different ways of classifying rights, but one way is that few rights are fundamental, which are very essential for developing the personality, like right to speech, right to equality, right to life. So earlier we have 7 fundamental rights. Subsequently, right to privacy was considered not fundamental right, but a legal right. So others are legal right. Fundamental right has importance. I will give you one example for fundamental right. Suppose a person is illegally detained by police, and in other case, the second person is illegally detained by a private person. What is the difference? Although consequence is that the person is under illegal detention. Detention means holding. Okay. In police or government sector, if some government servant or in the name of the state, the person is detained, then it is directly hit the fundamental right. So fundamental right are against the state. When the state agencies are violating your fundamental right, then you can straight go to remedies. And those remedies are mentioned in Article 32. And these remedial provisions are also made fundamental right. That's the beauty. So fundamental rights are from Article 12 to 35. And Article 32 is the heart and soul of Constitution said by Honorable Baba Bhimrao Ambedkar ji. He said that Article 32, because it gives you the instrument, it gives you the power by which fundamental right can be enforced. And what are those rights? They are the writs. Writs are of 5 types. I don't go in detail, but under Article 32 itself, you can directly knock the door of the Supreme Court. Otherwise, in other case where some private person has detained you, you have to go to police. Police will investigate. Police, you have to go for trial court. Trial will take years and years. Then it will go to High Court. Then ultimately come to Supreme Court as appeal. Okay. But here, because it is breach of violation of your fundamental right, that is why you can directly knock the court of Supreme Court if the matter is so grave, if your violation is so grave. Alternatively, under Article 226, you can go for the before corresponding High Court of the state, the place where that incident happened, the respective High Court. You can knock under Article 226. Here I must say the High Court in writ jurisdiction has wider power. Why? This is another question. So it is because High Court you can directly knock for not only fundamental right but even for legal right. So the spectrum is wider. That's the difference. Anyway, so we were talking about right to privacy, which we were talking in Article 25 of GDPR. And just for explaining privacy as fundamental right, I was referring JSKS Puttaswamy versus Union of India 2017. Remember this year. Although interestingly, the writ was one, but there were two judgments in this writ. One was the first called right to privacy judgment. The title of the judgment is same, but year are different. First is called right to privacy judgment, year 2017, and another is called Aadhaar judgment, in which Aadhaar issues were discussed, and that was announced in 2018. So these are the, so here the takeaway is that fundamental right in India made, privacy right was made fundamental. There is no other country, although I am not saying that they are not protecting right to privacy diligently, they are doing, but our status is different. In case your privacy is breached, you can directly knock the door of the High Court or Honorable Supreme Court. Okay. Having said that, what is privacy? Privacy is very, very important. You just see, like it is my mobile phone. Even if there is nothing incriminating, nothing bad, but I will not allow anyone to see it. Why? Because it is my privacy. I may have my photograph, I may have some data. Why should I allow anybody to see? So privacy is very important, and privacy is directly connected with consent. So consent should be free, fair, and that is called competent consent. Whether you are major to give consent, whether you are well aware, that is called informed consent, whether you have given all details about privacy, that is called granular privacy, granular consent. So there are so many layers, so many domains. And now all these things, consent management becomes a wider area for employability, for contest in the court and all. And privacy management is the key of data protection regime. That's the point. You must know. Now, another important point, my dear friend, that in GDPR, but let me just complete that Article 25 before I come to the penalties. So GDPR, Article 25, as I said, privacy, privacy by design. What does it mean? Nowadays, what we do, there are two different domains. One is technology and another is legal. The technology actually are generally technocrat. They do not know law, and legal experts do not know science or technology in general. There may be some exception, but in general. So nowadays, it is the time, it is the era of integration. And that is why in our institute, I have introduced a novel concept or signature concept called Law with Labs. This is my intellectual, you can say, innovation, and this is getting lot of dividend across globe. And our institute, UPSIFS, is very popular in very short span of time, nearly 2 years only, because of this concept. What exactly it is? It is not publicity per se, but I want to explain because this is very important for digital governance. Because governance, when we are talking digital, digital means technology, and governance means legal domain. So without integration of these two, the technology and law, you cannot think the better tomorrow. You cannot think trusted, you can say trusted platforms or trusted future of the technologies. So we'll come to that further. But what I was talking, that the another important point, which is legality by design. What does it mean by design? That when you are making any product or any service, right from the beginning, you have to think added. It should not be patchwork that you have made something, some device, and later on you are just putting some patchwork type of thing. No, it should be part of design. Like you are thinking of building a construction a house, we are going to many consult many architects, spend a lot of money. In general, in big projects, architect at least take 5 to 7% of the total budget. That is the important. But do we think about security? Do we have any evaluation of security right from the design? What we do, हमने बिल्डिंग बना ली, उसके बाद हमने एक गेट सेंट्री खड़ा कर दिया गेट पे. This is not the way. We have to integrate it right from the design. That is the digital governance part. The another is security by design. You have to build security feature in the device itself, in the application itself. It cannot be subsequently. So privacy by design, security by design, legality by design. There are not only privacy issues, there are so many other legal compliances. So those legal compliances, your system should be responsive right from the design. That is the digital governance. So if I say in nutshell, if we understand better, although I have given you very superficial understanding of Article 25, but in my opinion, my dear friends, Article 25 of GDPR provides you the whole framework, the broader framework whereby you can ensure the future of digital governance. And if we are ignorant, if we are not aware, then I think we will not survive. People will not have trust. Suppose you are depositing your all savings in bank. Nobody keep these days any cash. Even if you talk to the young generation, they do not carry sometime even the single penny in their pocket. They say, "Papa या मम्मा मेरे पास वो तो है डिजिटल or plastic money I carry." So just imagine if the bank has security challenges, what will happen? There not be even a single minute that we will all be bankrupt. So this is most important part, my dear friends, for digital governance. Now, as I said in the earlier phase, that the digital security is breached. That the digital security breach is nothing but cybercrime. One important thing, just for your knowledge, because I was talking about DPDP Act of 2023, and interestingly, just remember that Government of India has already rolled out the DPDP rule last year in November, and it has given 1 year and 6 month time, 18 months time to roll out. And the date to roll out is 14th May 2027. 14th May 2027, DPDP Act will be applicable. It will be operational. And you will surprise that multiple company will vanish from the map of the business world. Why? Because the penalty in Indian DPDP Act is to the tune of 250 crores rupees. So penalties up to 250 crores. And you know the litigants are very, you can say, active in India. The reasons are multiple, but one important reason is that there are so many advocates which at very meager fee, they just file the suit in the court. Whatever may be the future of the suit doesn't matter, but they file and the petitioner feel and everybody feel I will get to 50 crores. It is not so. 250 is the highest limit. But just imagine in GDPR, suppose that Analytica case, Facebook Cambridge Analytica case, if it was post GDPR, what was the fine? What was the penalty? It must be 50 million euro or 4% of total annual turnover. It is not income. And Facebook, you just imagine 4% just in one case. And there were multiple cases. Imagine the fate of such companies. Probably I could have conveyed you the role of cybersecurity, data protection. Now, if you are doing anything, don't think that I am not in business. How does it affect me? Yes, it will affect. Suppose I have your mobile phone number. I have your some data you shared. And you could prove that because of my negligence, because of my cybersecurity breach, your data has been uh, made public or your data has been breached because of my ignorance and you have legitimately given that data to me, then I will be held liable. Although I have no business, I have nothing to do that. So every individual, everybody is bound to protect data, not only your own, but whosoever has diligently or legitimately given to you. So due care is not enough. It has to be proper care. So everybody has to go for digital audit. Every company, every institution, every organization, even the individuals. So there will be huge scope for business, for employability. Who says that there is no employability? I think employability has a wide spectrum. And I always say, those who are listening and you are the teachers, most of you, then you can give them T model. Please read that T model of employability. Even you go to my web, this YouTube channel with my name, Dr. G.K. Goswami. There also I have discussed in brief T model. It's not a very unique something, but you must understand. T means if you just see T, T has two lines. One is vertical and another is horizontal. So vertical line means that is your core area of specialization. But you must have three, at least three another domain where you should have some knowledge. So what T model provide you? The capability to develop multitasking orientation. So those who have understanding of multitasking, they will survive. So now you are producing only BTech, cyber security, this and that, going nothing. So you just think over that. Those who want to consult me further on this point, we can discuss with it, because now the problem is that with the common degree, with the mundane degree, nothing will happen. It is not the test of your degree, because degree is just to qualify to enter into boardroom for interview or for exam. The real test begin of the knowledge. So knowledge is the key, it is not the degree alone. Degree is the only qualifying barrier. Everybody qualify. But the unfortunate part in this modern era, which I believe, it is the evaluation system. We have given such a system where everybody is overvalued. The student may be average, but he will get 80% marks. You just see the boards of different educational boards. Educational board like high school certificate, 10 plus 2 certificate. Everybody is getting 90%, 95%. One of my very close friend, although quite younger to me, but like a family member, he is very lively child, was in class 10th. We know her since almost since birth. She was in class 10th. When the result came, she got 96% and she was weeping. The home was almost like, distress stage. He called me कि सर जरा इसको समझाओ, ये कह रही है कि मेरे तो 98 आने थे, ये था वो था. Just imagine, the child was so disgusted that I got only 96. Where we are, everybody is getting 100 out of 100. So the problem with this kind of evaluation, I don't, although I'm not talking on that, it is the system what work, but it is actually creating a kind of misconception. When you have a filled glass, how do you think that I have to fill more? There is no space. So it block your mentality to learn. It block your capacity to absorb. That's the problem. So my humble request for the teacher is that please don't overrate. This is the big problem. We generally, when we conduct interview, at the last sometime, just for kind of lighter mood, we generally ask that suppose you are at my seat as the director for the board, for the chairman of the board, how much marks will you give to yourself with your performance, because you know what is your performance? Normally say, sir, 10 out of 10. I can never imagine in my wildest dream can in any circumstances I can get 10 out of 10. Even if it is the subject which has been pioneered by me. Even then. Because nothing can be perfect. How can you think of 10 out of 10? Because nothing is perfect. You will always be, otherwise the moment you come to that level, then your imagination will die. Your learning will be ending. So think over it, doesn't matter. I don't want to get more detailing on this point. So with this background, now I want to come to the criminal side. So legality, privacy by design, legality by design, security by design. These are the areas where you will build. Suppose you know that this bank is secured, then you only go for that. To deposit your money, you will have the faith. Many a times you must have heard a few years back, the Yes Bank has some problem, and thousands of people went in front of the gates of Yes Bank to withdraw their money. So it is the trust actually, and trust is the key of the society. Trust is the key of the society, even for interpersonal relationship, even with the husband and wife, even with the parents and children. So without trust, you cannot survive. So I will give you the formula in the end how to go for digital governance and all. Now, I will just recapitulate in 5-7 minutes about, suppose it is data is breached. So it is nothing but cybercrime. So cybercrime is bound, and somebody may say you that this digital data protection act, they are civil in nature, but there are three parties to it. Two are being discussed in any data protection law. That is, one is the owner of the data, that is called data owner or data principal in that term. Okay. And another is data fiduciary, the person or the company or the organization who is the custodian of the data. Suppose bank, I have given my data, my Aadhaar card and other details. So I became principal, data principal, and bank became data fiduciary. But bank may sublet something, so data fiduciary may be multiple. Okay. The point here is that dispute will be civil in nature. But data is not breached by itself. There must be third party who has deliberately did it, intently did it for some benefit. So it's purely a crime. So third party will be dealt by crime. So always think that, and it is only Dubai which has made the law on data protection, including the criminal liability. Otherwise, rest of the world, what they do, including India, DPDPF, they only deal with the civil liabilities. They say that criminal liability will be dealt by the corresponding law. Suppose it relates to children, then maybe POXO Act may be there if it is sexual means connotations, or it may be any theft, then IPC or BNS will be applied and blah, blah, blah. Likewise. But it is Dubai which has actually introduced the data protection with civil liability as well as criminal liability. Okay. So now let me come to cybercrime. Cybercrime, my dear friend, is a bundle of crime. And nowadays, nobody can say that I have not been victim of cybercrime ever. Everybody is victim of cybercrime. If you go to dark web, our all data, multiple data, you will find there, even your passwords, right? So, victim, despite that we may not be knowing. Most of the time we don't know until unless it is a very, very glaring issue happened with us. Although lot many things to talk, but I will squeeze because of limit of time. I want to conclude soon in 5-7 minutes. So what I do, that just imagine cybercrime has transformed from physical world, the criminals has entered into cyber domain. Now you will see that street crime has been minimized now. Who is going to kill a person? Who is going to rob a person on road when you can do digital robbery? And I say this, just remember that in front of any conventional crime, you put E, electronic, E murder, E robbery, E abuse, whatever. So if you look this digital arrest, my friends, is nothing but e-robbery. Because in robbery per se, the ingredients are threat and taking valuable. So here you are threatening online that I am CBI, you have done this, you have done that, your son has been caught, blah blah blah, and then they extract valuables, money and all. So e-robbery. Likewise, say for example, you will say that is okay, but how e-murder can be committed? Very easy, and I am not giving any hypothetical. These are the reported cases also. Suppose there is a person who is very popular, very famous. He got admitted for some operation in some surgery in the hospital. And say for example that on 26, that gentleman is due for some surgical activity, surgical operation or whatever. So if you want to eliminate that fellow, just breach the cyber security of the hospital. And cyber security of hospital, you know that last year AIMS Delhi, the data was breached, was published, and so many things can be said about means medical care, data protection and cyber security. So these are the issues and problems. So you just enter into cyber security domain by hacking and change the blood group. When in the morning at 5, when the surgery is proceeded and that changed blood group is administered, you can imagine the plight of that patient. Hardly 2 minutes. And doctor will say that heart failure. Even there will be no suspicion. Forget about any trace or something. So likewise, you are using pacemaker, the control is in your device, digital device, everything you just imagine, and you can just tamper and can cause any damage, any harm, any crime to anybody. So this is the point. Another is like everything is a service, transport as a service, food as a service. So we get anything. Likewise, cyber crime as a service. Now you can, if you want that in a particular city, I want to identify people, those who have X amount of money or above. So that identification of target. Earlier, criminal has to go, they have to go recce, this and that, ask this way or that way. You may be sitting across any part of the world and just asking that, say in Mumbai, in Lucknow, in Patna, whosoever, in that particular area, just give me 10 targets for robbery or so some, getting some money back, money from them. So they will explore and they will give you so many ideas that this is a vulnerability, this way this man is doing, that way you can penetrate the cyber security, this and that. So cyber crime as a service becomes phenomenal, right? So you have to have very strong understanding about cyber security. Forget about others. First, secure yourself. So those domains are very important. Nowadays, I have means I can talk hours and hours on these points because I know the ground reality of crime. I know the changing landscape of crime, especially in the digital world. The another important area which I just want to share with you that just Google sometime Slaughter bot, BOT, chatbot wala bot. Slaughter bot is what? That you just make micro drones, you know the drones, and just by using artificial intelligence, facial recognition, right? And just make like bees that much size. And you just spread them in thousands and thousands. They are called drone swarms. Swarm, SWARMs, swarms. And suppose there is a crowd, maybe 1,000 persons, and you want to kill X person. So just give his photograph. Even you can download from anywhere. You may never have met him. Download the photograph that will recognize the face and that particular, not all, that particular bee, that is drone bee, that is micro drone, it will identify the person, simply go and bite his skin and that chemical will be administered and person will finish. So what I mean to say that nowadays the crime has undergone a drastic change. So we have to think how to build the resilient, digital resilient, trusted system. So not taking much of time of yours, and I know many times there may be no question even, but still that's my duty to give you opportunity to discuss. But I want to conclude with this thing. Responsive AI, yes, I want to talk a little bit about that. So we have to be responsive. Artificial intelligence alone cannot be responsive. Responsive we should be. Another important point, as I said, that you can make a shoe, you can make a shirt, anything. It may be of good quality, bad quality. Artificial intelligence, nothing very you can say prescribe that this far, no further. It is a kind of raw material. So the major thing with artificial intelligence responsibility is that how do you train? What kind of data you are using? You must know how the data should be dressing up of data. Many times, like say for example, identification for employability. The problem with artificial intelligence, using artificial intelligence is that it discriminate over various regions. The simplest is that many times the data they collect, the females in the employment is less. So what it may drive, it may think, oh, females are not efficient. Females may have some problems. That is why they are not in employment. And that is why they can discriminate. So accordingly, you have to keep a very important eye on that. If you just mechanized things, then it may be havoc. It may create so many discriminatory situations. So you have to be very cautious and careful. So if you want the system responsive, it is not the only artificial intelligence responsive. I say digital system responsive. So in my opinion, the digital governance has three important things. One is the diligent human intelligence. Diligent means that if you have something vicious in your mind, your mind is criminally intended, then nothing can give you the responsive or good governance. So good governance means or trusted governance means that the you can say righteous human intelligence plus artificial intelligence, which is well, you can say, tested, well tested artificial intelligence plus law and ethics. Law and ethics is the regulation, which I was talking about, that without legality, without legal compliance, you cannot build trust. Just go to bank, go to health sector, go to any other part. If you are not legally compliant, legal compliance is actually give you trust. Like law give you trust in the society. They generally say, oh, it is a lawless society. How can I live here? So likewise, if the system is not legally compliant, then how can you believe on that system? So if you really need in the physical world that lawlessness should not be there, in digital world, the same concept applies. So the compliant digital governance equal to means responsive and sensitive plus responsive artificial intelligence and law and ethics. Law is a very, you can say, very brute power. Brute, no, I'm not talking in very literal sense. Brute means that just implement. But ethics has very important role to play. Ethics give you a wider implication for the need of the society. Without ethics, and I request you that in such type of discussions, always take some part or session on morals, ethics and law. These three terms are very important for building trust in the society. The reason is very simple. I always say that we are living in a mistrusted society. Nobody has trust. Forget about digital world. In the physical world, in our relationship, the trust quotient is missing. It is depleting very fast. So how to rejuvenate trust, how to rebuild trust is the need of the hour. That cannot be merely by saying, it is by our mental design. Then only we will go for digital designs, legally compliant digital designs. So this is the good governance, responsive governance, trusted governance. That is the need of the hour. So with this, I conclude my talk and I request the organizers to come forward and to take up case questions, if any. I will be very happy if anyone comes forward to ask question, please.
Yes, sir, there are some questions of the from the participant side. Like first question is, sir, how can we verify whether news or information on social media is genuine?
There are tools nowadays, ma'am, that to verify them. Otherwise, uh, physically, humanly, it is not possible. So you have to use tools, and are available tools. Yes. What advice would you give to young professional to stay relevant in AI-driven world? Yes, I think this is a very relevant question. This question actually, there are so many small means certificate course, learning platforms and all. So just learn that. And it is not only learning, but it is actually absorbing. Understand that what you are learning and what for you are learning and how you can customize it for your own purpose. Because AI, as I said, is a tool. It can be used, misused, abused, whatever manner. So you have to be a workable knowledge of computer. Like if you see the even the child of 2 year may not be able even to talk, but he or she very well operate your television, operate your mobile phone, despite you have never given any teaching or anything. So this is a basic instinct level knowledge. So likewise, artificial driven world, you have to keep pace with the development, pace with the changes. There will be no capsule which can be given to anybody that you just swallow it and you will get all knowledge. You have to be very aware. Earlier, what happens that you get a degree, just got a job, and now finish. So you need not. So what we were doing generally, that the moment we get a job, we generally switch off our books and learning. So now this will not happen. You have to be alert, aware, and a learning mind every time. Yes. How can a student use AI ethically without violating academic integrity? Again, it is your morality, how you learn. You know what you are doing. You know how much cheating you have done. So I always say that use AI as a guide, as a you can say providing you option because it explore a lot. How many books you can read? You can read five, you can read two, you can read three, maximum 10, but it can explore a lot. So it gives you a lot of idea, but you have to find out by your own. You have to design by your own. So don't get, you know, what I say, slave to the artificial intelligence. Make it as a friend, make it as a tool, make it as a guide, but it should not guide you finally. It can aid you rather. I must use word aid than guide in fact. How can we protect our personal data? Yes, the data security, you have to be aware, you have to use your two-step security features. Many times we do not care. We generally open very simple type of generally our date of birth, my anybody very simple type of password, and many times we open our mobile means every data on mobile phone. So please be careful and you have to be cautious because in case of cyber security, if you are lost once, then lost forever. So it is not something very easy, and even the police is not competent because the dimensions is so fast changing that police learning, police training is always much behind. Like if you are teaching today, by then they learn, they get acquainted with that. The technology move fast, and again the gap between today means requirement and the capability of police, there is a vast gap, and that gap is increasing phenomenally day by day. How can we protect our personal data? As I already said, sir, cybercrime evolves faster than legislation. Should countries adopt more flexible and technology specific? Yes, we have enough laws, my dear friend. I don't think that the law, too much law are not required. We have enough law. Only thing is implementation. So proper implementation with good intent is the key. But another point that law alone cannot. Awareness is very important. And in my opinion, awareness about cyber security is very, very poor with us. We take granted. And if you just see, if you just post any Nach Gana type, any video or anything, there may be thousands and thousands of things. But if you just give even 2 minutes some awareness program type videos all, there will be hardly 100 viewers. So this is the problem. So we have to think. Solution will not come by its own. Problem will come by its own. Solution come by effort. So we have to make effort to understand. Otherwise, like a mute spectator, the solution will not be followed at our door. How can we identify and avoid phishing email? Yes, there are methods because time is rushing, but you can easily make out that which is phishing email. And secondly, don't jump immediately. The point is that whenever there is any response on the digital space, suppose if it is threatening or suspicion, then never give a jerk reaction. The jerk reaction is always very panic. Panic they try to create. But please control yourself, your emotions, and be little cool. And give at least whenever you heard anything bad news on this type of thing, then the first reaction should not be instant. Just get time. I'll give you one example. One of very senior, very senior rank official, he was telling that his son, now he retired, and his son was settled working in London. One day, that son got a call that your father is arrested by CBI, and we are calling, we have good connections. If you want to negotiate, we can help your father. So the intelligent boy, what he did, he said that, okay, let me just, I will call you back. Just hold. I am in office or something. Just give me some time. He immediately called his father. He didn't disclose anything like that kind. He said, Papa, kahan ho? Where are you? So he said, I have taken lunch. I was thinking just to get little rest. So I am in my retiring room in office. So he did not disclose anything at that time. He said, okay, take rest. I will call you later. So that is how you can bust such type of criminal activities. So it is your little intelligence. As AI increasingly influence decision making, how can we ensure that algorithm bias? Yes, algorithm is bias is always a problem. Cognitive bias, confirmatory bias. I think, ma'am, next time when you design such course, bias should always be kept because everybody of us are suffering from different type of bias. Although without bias we cannot survive, I understand, but we should minimize as much as possible biases and decision making influences and all. Algorithm is nothing but actually the method how you solve a problem, and our mind is such that mind is trained in such a way that it want to minimize the use of energy. So it actually give you solution which is ready made. That's why algorithm comes very fast, and they says that, oh, with the previous, like it is like artificial intelligence. So what it give you? Immediate reaction. And immediate reaction is nothing but cognitive power, cognitive capacity, what already being cooked in the mind. But sometime that cause bias. So you have to put little more energy, little more thinking, little more algorithm in the brain to explore the real solution rather than the previously stored solution. So this is a very interesting question, but I know I have almost close to the time for closing. So best decision making, how it undermine the principle of justice? Yes, it undermine, because if you are taking a biased decision, certainly it is going to affect. So thank you for everyone. Miss Anu, thank you for inviting me here for this talk. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of Ishan Education Institution, I sincerely thank you for delivering such an inspiring and informative session on digital awareness. Your valuable knowledge, practical examples, and simple way of explaining the topic made the session very interesting and useful for all the participants, despite your
So I hope this must have at least, move a little ahead towards the goal of learning and awareness. Those
yes.
who have any question, they can reach out to me on my number 8800. I can just write those who want to contact. So this is my contact number, and as I said that I have YouTube channel, so you may subscribe that, and you may get lot of daily dose, very simple and interesting for a common man. It is not only for any law technology, but it is a kind of hybrid. So thank you very much once again, everyone, and have a nice day and good learning. Bye. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a wonderful day.